Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you realize that not every battle is meant to be fought with words. There are moments when silence holds more power than 1,000 spoken sentences. I have learned that silence is not a weakness, it is a choice, a conscious decision to rise above what is meant to pull you down. I have seen people who mistake kindness for vulnerability, who believe that silence is submission, but they fail to understand that silence is not surrender. Silence is wisdom. It is the pause before a storm, the restraint before destruction. There have been times when my heart burned with the need to respond, to defend myself against words spoken in ignorance. But I chose silence, not because I had nothing to say, but because I knew that my words had the power to shatter, to cut deeper than any sword, and I refused to become what hurt me. When you choose silence, you choose peace. You choose to walk away from negativity, not because you are afraid, but because you know your worth. The most powerful revenge is not in the words you speak, but in the strength with which you carry yourself, in the success you achieve despite the doubts, in the resilience you build despite the setbacks. To those who have been wronged, belittled, or hurt, remember, silence is not about accepting defeat. It is about knowing when to fight and when to walk away with grace. The world will try to provoke you, push you to react, but your silence will echo louder than any insult. Every word spoken carries weight, and once released into the world, it cannot be taken back. Creative is being dreamy and uppy and lappe 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 and lappe. The impact of words is profound, shaping relationships, influencing emotions, and determining the course of interactions between individuals. While words can be used to express love, encouragement, and wisdom, they can also be wielded as weapons that cut deeper than any physical wound. The choice of words reflects the mind and soul of the speaker, often revealing more about them than they may intend. It is for this reason that the decision to remain silent at times can be far more powerful than engaging in verbal conflict. In moments of anger, frustration, or pain, the temptation to speak without thought can be overwhelming. Emotions rise, and words can spill out like a flood, often leaving destruction in their wake. A single sentence spoken in haste can tarnish relationships that took years to build. Words of anger and resentment, once uttered, linger in the minds of others, replaying over and over, deepening wounds that may never fully heal. The scars left by harsh words can remain long after the conversation has ended, shaping the way people perceive themselves and their worth. It is in these moments that silence becomes a powerful act of wisdom and self-control. Silence is not a sign of weakness, nor is it an act of submission. It is a choice, a conscious decision to rise above negativity and to refuse to engage in a battle where words may cause irreversible damage. It's easy to show in silence. One demonstrates emotional intelligence, an understanding that not every situation requires a response. Not every argument needs to be won. Silence does not mean assertification. It does not mean demeaning, assertive position. It does not mean eschewing. Assertive position is not meaning vanishing or fading away. Assertiveness does not mean escaping. Assertiveness it is a refusal to be provoked, a testament to inner strength and self-respect. The most painful words are often spoken in moments of deep emotional turmoil. In anger, people say things they do not mean, words that pierce like daggers and destroy trust in an instant. Apologies may be given later, but the damage is already done. A wound may heal, but the scar remains, a constant reminder of words that should never have been spoken. Choosing silence in such moments is not avoidance, but wisdom. It is an acknowledgement that words spoken in haste are rarely productive, and that sometimes the best response is none at all. There is immense power in withholding words, in refusing to give in to the impulse to retaliate. When faced with insult or criticism, the natural instinct is to defend oneself, to counter hurtful words with equally sharp responses. But engaging in verbal warfare rarely leads to resolution. It only deepens the divide. Silence, however, forces the other person to confront their own words without interference. It creates a void that echoes louder than any shouted reply, leaving the aggressor to wrestle with their own conscience. The absence of words can often be more unsettling than an argument, as it denies the other person the reaction they seek. In many situations, silence is not just a response, but a statement in itself. It communicates strength, patience, and a refusal to be drawn into negativity. A person who chooses silence is not one who lacks words, but one who understands their weight. They recognize that true power lies not in speaking the loudest, but in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. This control over one's words is a sign of emotional maturity, a trait that distinguishes those who lead with wisdom from those who act on impulse. History has shown that some of the most impactful messages have been conveyed not through words, but through silence. Leaders, thinkers, and visionaries have often used silence as a tool to command respect, to show resilience, and to demonstrate that sometimes the absence of words speaks volumes. When met with injustice, oppression, or provocation, silence can serve as a powerful act of defiance. It is a refusal to engage on terms dictated by anger and hatred, a way of rising above circumstances rather than being consumed by them. The ability to choose silence over harmful words is not always easy. It requires restraint, patience, and a deep understanding of the consequences of one's speech. It is easy to speak without thinking, to lash out in the heat of the moment, but true strength lies in the ability to hold back, to pause, to reflect, to decide whether words will serve a purpose or only add to the chaos. This self-discipline is what sets apart those who use words wisely from those who wield them recklessly. In relationships, whether personal or professional, the power of words cannot be underestimated. A single kind word can restore hope, while a careless one can break a heart. Understanding this power brings a responsibility to use words with care, to speak in a way that uplifts rather than destroys. But just as important as knowing what to say is knowing when to say nothing at all. Silence, when used wisely, is not an absence of communication, but a form of it. It conveys strength, dignity, and a refusal to be drawn into unnecessary conflict. Ultimately, the power of words is undeniable, but so is the power of silence. In a world where people are quick to react, quick to speak without thought, choosing silence can be an act of great strength. It is a reminder that not all battles need to be fought with words, and that sometimes the most powerful response is simply to remain still. In that stillness, there is wisdom, peace, and a quiet strength that speaks louder than any words ever could. Silence is often misunderstood. Many perceive it as a sign of submission, as if choosing not to respond to an argument or provocation means a lack of confidence or strength. However, silence is not an absence of power. Rather, it is a display of immense inner strength and wisdom. It is a conscious decision to control emotions instead of allowing them to control us. It is easy to react with words, to defend oneself with loud arguments, and to lash out when hurt. But it takes true emotional strength to hold back, to reflect, and to decide when speaking is necessary and when silence carries more weight. Emotional strength is not measured by how loud one can be, nor by how quickly one can respond to criticism or conflict. It is measured by the ability to remain composed in difficult situations, by the resilience to withstand negativity without being consumed by it. People who possess emotional strength understand that words spoken in anger often lead to regret. They know that reacting impulsively does not solve problems, but instead escalates them. By choosing silence, they demonstrate control over their emotions, showing that they are not easily swayed by provocation. Choosing silence requires a deep understanding of oneself. It means recognizing that every reaction is a choice, and that responding to negativity does not always bring resolution. In many cases, reacting to an attack only fuels the conflict further, giving power to those who seek to disrupt peace. Emotionally strong individuals do not engage in unnecessary battles. They do not feel the need to prove themselves in every argument because they are secure in who they are. They understand that their self-worth is not dependent on the opinions of others, nor is their strength measured by how loudly they can defend themselves. Silence is an act of wisdom because it allows space for reflection. When emotions run high, the ability to pause and think before speaking is invaluable. In that moment of silence, one can assess the situation with clarity, considering whether words will contribute to the solution or simply add to the chaos. Many people regret words spoken in anger, realizing too late that they have caused harm that could have been avoided. Those who choose silence in such moments save themselves from the burden of unnecessary conflict. They do not allow emotions to dictate their responses, but instead use wisdom to decide the best course of action. There is immense dignity in silence. It takes emotional strength to walk away from a situation that provokes anger or pain. Society often teaches that speaking up is a sign of strength, but it does not always emphasize the power of knowing when to stay silent. Those who have mastered the art of silence understand that it is not about suppressing one's voice, but about choosing where and when to use it effectively. They do not waste energy on situations that do not deserve their attention. Instead, they conserve their emotional energy for moments that truly matter. Many of the strongest individuals are those who do not react impulsively. They are the ones who listen more than they speak, who observe rather than engage in unnecessary disputes. Their silence is not weakness, it is a sign of deep self-awareness. It is a reflection of their ability to rise above petty conflicts and focus on what truly matters. When faced with hostility, they do not retaliate with words meant to wound. Instead, they remain silent, knowing that their response is not required to validate themselves. Their strength lies in their ability to remain unshaken in the face of negativity. Silence also serves as a form of protection. In a world where people are quick to judge, criticize, and attack, choosing silence can be a way to guard one's peace. It is a way to avoid being drawn into unnecessary drama, to refuse to give power to those who seek to provoke. Emotionally strong individuals do not feel the need to explain themselves to those who are committed to misunderstanding them. They do not waste words on people who do not truly listen. They understand that their silence speaks louder than any argument ever could. There is also an element of patience in silence. It requires discipline to hold back when every emotion urges a response. It requires confidence to know that words are not always necessary to prove a point. Those who embrace silence do so with the understanding that time often reveals the truth more effectively than immediate reactions. They trust that their actions and character will speak for them in ways that words cannot. Instead of engaging in futile debates, they focus on living their truth, allowing their presence to be the strongest statement they make. Emotional strength is not about overpowering others with words, it is about having control over oneself. It is about recognizing that true power comes from within, from the ability to remain calm under pressure and to choose battles wisely. Those who are truly strong do not seek validation through arguments or loud proclamations. They do not feel the need to prove their worth through constant explanation. They understand that silence is a choice, a powerful tool that can communicate more than words ever could. Choosing silence is an act of confidence. It is a reflection of an unshakable inner foundation that does not need external validation. It is a demonstration of wisdom, showing that one understands the value of words and the weight they carry. Not every situation deserves a response, and not every person is worthy of an explanation. In choosing silence, one asserts control over their emotions, refusing to be manipulated by the words or actions of others. In a world that often equates noise with power, silence remains an underestimated strength. It is not an escape, but a conscious decision to engage only when necessary. It is the mark of those who have mastered themselves, those who understand that words are powerful but not always required. It is a statement of resilience, patience, and self-respect. The ability to remain silent in moments of conflict, to withhold words when they have the power to destroy, is a true testament to emotional strength. Negativity is an inevitable part of life. No matter how kind, hardworking, or sincere a person is, they will encounter criticism, judgment, and negativity from others. The world is filled with individuals who project their insecurities onto those around them, seeking to provoke, belittle, or drag others down. It is easy to respond with anger, to defend oneself, or to retaliate with equally harsh words. However, reacting to negativity often does more harm than good. It fuels unnecessary conflict, drains emotional energy, and disrupts inner peace. Choosing silence in the face of negativity is not a sign of weakness, but a display of strength. It is a decision to rise above petty battles and maintain dignity rather than being pulled into the chaos of negativity. Silence is a powerful response because it denies negativity the reaction it seeks. Many negative people thrive on provoking reactions. They seek to pull others into their own frustration and bitterness. When met with silence, their power diminishes. Silence creates a space where negativity cannot grow, forcing those who spread it to confront their own words and actions without external validation. Instead of engaging in endless arguments or defending oneself against baseless accusations, choosing silence allows one to conserve energy for what truly matters. It is a way of rejecting toxicity without being consumed by it. Rising above negativity through silence also protects one's peace. Engaging with negativity often leads to stress, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. Words exchanged in anger rarely lead to resolution. Instead, they deepen wounds and create lasting resentment. Those who practice silence understand that not every insult, rumor, or criticism deserves attention. They prioritize their well-being over the need to prove themselves to people who may never truly listen or understand. Peace is maintained by choosing not to participate in conflicts that offer nothing but destruction. There is dignity in silence. It demonstrates self-control and wisdom, showing that a person values their integrity more than temporary satisfaction. Many believe that responding to negativity with equal force proves strength, but true strength lies in the ability to remain calm and unshaken. A dignified silence speaks louder than any words of retaliation. It communicates confidence and self-assurance, signaling that one does not need to stoop to the level of negativity to assert their worth. Negativity often arises from insecurity. People who criticize, insult, or spread rumors often do so from a place of personal dissatisfaction. They seek validation by diminishing others, hoping to elevate themselves in the process. Engaging with such individuals gives them the validation they crave, reinforcing their behavior. By choosing silence, one refuses to participate in their game. Instead of giving negativity attention, silence redirects focus towards growth, success, and positivity. It is a way of breaking the cycle, showing that one's happiness and self-worth are not dependent on the approval or opinions of others. Silence also provides clarity. In moments of conflict, emotions can cloud judgment, leading to words that may be regretted later. By choosing silence, one allows space for reflection, ensuring that any future response, if necessary, is thoughtful and measured. Reacting impulsively often escalates situations, turning minor disagreements into major disputes. Silence, on the other hand, allows for a deeper understanding of the situation, enabling a response that is driven by wisdom rather than emotion. Rising above negativity does not mean ignoring injustice or allowing others to walk over you. It means choosing battles wisely and understanding that not every attack requires a response. There is a time to speak and a time to remain silent. When faced with baseless negativity, gossip, or attempts to provoke, silence can be the most effective form of resistance. It sends a clear message: your words do not define me. Your negativity does not affect my peace. Another powerful aspect of silence is its ability to shift focus. When one refuses to engage with negativity, they redirect their attention to areas of life that truly matter. Personal growth, meaningful relationships, and inner peace. Time and energy are precious, and wasting them on negativity only hinders progress. Instead of being consumed by negative words or actions, choosing silence allows one to continue moving forward, proving detractors wrong through success rather than words. Silence is also a lesson in patience. It teaches restraint and emotional discipline, skills that are essential for long-term success and happiness. Those who react to negativity with immediate anger or defensiveness often find themselves caught in a cycle of conflict. But those who practice silence develop resilience, learning to let go of unnecessary battles. They understand that not every negative remark needs an answer, and that true confidence comes from within. Ultimately, silence is not about suppression, but about choice. It is the decision to protect one's peace, to maintain dignity, and to rise above negativity without allowing it to take root. While the world may try to pull people into unnecessary battles, those who choose silence demonstrate a level of wisdom and strength that cannot be shaken. They understand that their worth is not determined by the negativity of others, and by remaining silent, they maintain control over their own happiness and peace. Self-respect is one of the greatest forms of empowerment. It is the understanding that one's dignity and worth are not dependent on the opinions, actions, or judgments of others. Many people believe that revenge is a way to reclaim power, to prove their strength by retaliating against those who wrong them. However, true empowerment does not come from retaliation. It comes from self-control, the ability to rise above the desire for revenge. To walk away with dignity rather than engaging in destructive battles is the mark of someone who truly values themselves. Retaliation often provides only temporary satisfaction. In moments of anger or betrayal, the urge to strike back can be overwhelming. It feels like the only way to restore balance, to ensure that the other person experiences the same pain they inflicted. However, revenge rarely brings real peace. It does not erase the hurt, nor does it undo the wrong. Instead, it keeps the cycle of negativity alive, allowing the past to dictate the present. Those who seek revenge often find themselves trapped in a never-ending loop of resentment, constantly revisiting the pain that was inflicted upon them. In contrast, self-respect allows one to move forward without being consumed by bitterness. Choosing self-control over revenge is not about ignoring injustice or accepting mistreatment. It is about understanding that one's energy is too valuable to be wasted on those who do not deserve it. Every moment spent plotting retaliation is a moment taken away from personal growth, happiness, and success. Revenge keeps the focus on the past, while self-respect shifts it toward the future. People who prioritize self-respect recognize that their true power lies in how they respond to challenges, not in how they retaliate against those who hurt them. There is immense strength in restraint. Walking away from a situation that provokes anger or pain requires more courage than engaging in conflict. Society often portrays revenge as a form of justice, as if striking back makes a person stronger. But real strength is demonstrated by those who refuse to lower themselves to the level of those who wronged them. They understand that their actions define them, not the actions of others. By choosing not to engage in revenge, they send a powerful message. I am in control of myself. I will not be reduced to bitterness and hatred. Self-respect also means knowing that some battles are not worth fighting. Not every insult, betrayal, or act of disrespect deserves a response. Those who seek revenge often do so because they feel disrespected and want to restore their pride. However, true self-respect is not about proving anything to others. It is about maintaining inner peace. When a person respects themselves, they do not allow others to dictate their actions. They do not seek validation through revenge, but rather through their ability to rise above negativity. Letting go of the need for revenge does not mean forgetting or excusing the actions of others. It means choosing to protect one's peace rather than being consumed by anger. It is about understanding that the best response to betrayal or mistreatment is to live a life that is not defined by those experiences. Instead of wasting time on those who have caused harm, those with self-respect focus on building a future that reflects their true worth. Success, happiness, and personal fulfillment are the greatest forms of empowerment. Revenge often leads to unintended consequences. In the heat of anger, people act impulsively, saying or doing things that they later regret. The pursuit of revenge can cause more harm than the original wrongdoing, dragging a person into situations that compromise their character and integrity. Those who prioritize self-respect understand that their reputation, values, and inner peace are worth more than any temporary satisfaction that revenge might bring. They recognize that their future should not be shaped by the negative actions of others, but by their own decisions and growths. Another powerful aspect of self-respect is the ability to choose one's battles wisely. There will always be people who hurt, betray, or disrespect others. But not every situation requires a response. Reacting to every offense only gives power to those who seek to bring others down. People who have self-respect do not allow themselves to be controlled by external negativity. They understand that their energy is better spent on things that bring value to their lives, rather than on pointless conflicts. Their strength comes from their ability to walk away with dignity, knowing that they do not need to prove their worth to anyone. Self-respect also fosters emotional intelligence. It requires a deep understanding of one's emotions and the ability to manage them effectively. Instead of reacting out of anger, those with self-respect take the time to reflect on what truly matters. They do not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent actions. They understand that their peace of mind is more important than getting even. This level of emotional control allows them to navigate life with clarity and purpose, making decisions that align with their values rather than being driven by negativity. Ultimately, self-respect is the foundation of true empowerment. It is about having control over one's emotions, actions, and reactions. Those who prioritize self-respect understand that revenge does not heal wounds. It only deepens them. They know that walking away from negativity is not a sign of defeat, but a sign of wisdom and strength. By refusing to engage in retaliation, they preserve their dignity and protect their peace. True empowerment is not about seeking revenge, it is about rising above it. Actions have always spoken louder than words. In a world where people are quick to argue, defend, and explain themselves, there is something incredibly powerful about choosing to let actions do the talking. Words can be manipulated, misinterpreted, or dismissed, but actions leave a lasting impact. True strength is not found in loud proclamations, but in the quiet, consistent demonstration of character, resilience, and success. When faced with challenges, criticism, or doubt, the most effective response is not verbal confrontation, but proving oneself through actions. This approach requires patience, self-discipline, and an unshakable belief in one's own path. People often waste energy trying to convince others of their worth, their abilities, or their intentions. They get caught up in defending themselves against negativity, responding to every criticism, or explaining their choices. But the truth is, no amount of words can truly change the minds of those who are committed to misunderstanding. Instead of engaging in endless debates or trying to prove something verbally, the best response is to let results speak for themselves. When a person continues to push forward, work hard, and stay focused despite negativity, they inspire respect, not through argument, but through undeniable evidence of their efforts. Success is the most powerful form of response. Nothing silences doubt, criticism, or negativity more effectively than visible achievement. People may question abilities, challenge dreams, or undermine efforts, but they cannot argue with results. Every milestone reached, every goal achieved, and every step forward sends a message stronger than words ever could. When someone remains dedicated to their purpose and refuses to be distracted by negativity, they demonstrate that true power lies in persistence and action. Inspiring through actions is not just about proving something to others. It is about self-growth and fulfillment. When a person shifts their focus from responding to negativity to building something meaningful, they free themselves from unnecessary distractions. They no longer feel the need to react to every comment or prove themselves to those who doubt them. Instead, they use their time and energy to create, grow, and succeed. This shift in mindset is not only liberating but also incredibly empowering. It places control back in their hands, allowing them to dictate their own path rather than being influenced by external voices. Every great leader, innovator, and trailblazer in history has understood the power of actions. They did not waste time arguing with critics or trying to gain approval from those who doubted them. Instead, they focused on their vision, worked tirelessly toward their goals, and let their accomplishments serve as their response. They understood that true influence does not come from words alone, but from a life that serves as an example. People are inspired not by what is said, but by what is done. A person who remains consistent in their efforts, who stays committed to their values despite challenges, becomes a source of motivation for others. Choosing to let actions speak does not mean remaining silent in the face of injustice or passively accepting mistreatment. It means knowing when words are necessary and when they are simply wasted energy. There are moments in life when standing up and speaking out is important, but there are also times when the most powerful statement is resilience. When someone continues to rise above obstacles, refusing to be defined by setbacks or negativity, they make a statement far louder than any words ever could. Their persistence, integrity, and success become a testament to their strength. This principle applies not only in personal struggles but also in leadership. The most respected and inspiring leaders are those who lead by example rather than empty promises. They do not demand respect through words. They earn it through their actions. They show up, put in the effort, and set the standard for those around them. Whether in business, relationships, or personal development, the ability to inspire through consistent action is what separates true leaders from those who simply talk about leadership. Additionally, actions have a ripple effect. When one person demonstrates resilience, determination, and integrity, it encourages others to do the same. People are far more influenced by what they see than by what they hear. A person who leads with action creates an environment where others feel motivated to pursue their own goals with the same level of dedication. This is the true essence of inspiration, not just telling people what they should do, but showing them through one's own journey. There is also a deep sense of fulfillment in choosing to focus on actions rather than words. Engaging in constant verbal battles drains energy and often leads nowhere. But when a person directs that energy toward progress, self-improvement, and meaningful work, they gain a sense of purpose. They no longer seek validation through arguments or explanations, but through the impact they create. The journey itself becomes more rewarding because it is driven by personal growth rather than external approval. At the core of inspiring through actions is the idea of self-mastery. It requires discipline to resist the urge to react to negativity with words. It takes confidence to trust that results will speak louder than explanations. It demands patience to stay committed to the path without getting distracted by criticism. But those who develop this mindset find themselves in control of their emotions, their time, and their destiny. They are no longer at the mercy of external opinions. because they understand that real influence is built through consistent effort and undeniable success. In the end, words may fade, but actions leave a lasting impact. People may forget what was said in a moment of conflict, but they will always remember the strength, persistence, and achievements of those who chose to rise above. Letting action speak is not just a strategy for dealing with negativity, it is a way of life. It is the path of those who understand that true power lies not in what is said, but in what is done. So, I choose silence, not because I am weak, but because I am strong enough to know that my words can destroy, but I refuse to let them. Instead, I will let my silence, my success, and my dignity speak for me. Thank you.